Welcome back to Movies TV Mag. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mag. Smash the like button. If you love me, subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Welcome to this live chat. We're talking DCEU. We're talking about the Flash movie. We're talking about everything DC, everything entertainment, whatever movies or TV show you choose to talk about, we will talk about them. It doesn't have to be a DC conversation. By the way, comment, say hello, ask me a question, tell me what you want to talk about, and we will talk about it here on Movies TV Mag. Welcome, as I say, a surprise, kind of surprising live chat tonight. I thought, let's go live. Let's see if anyone goes in, because people always say to me, why don't you go live? Because every time I go live, nobody comes in, and it's a waste of time. And if nobody comes in tonight, I am never going live again. Simple as that. And I don't want to hear, why don't you ever go live? That's why, because no one ever comes in. So we will see who comes in for this live chat. So according to Andy Machete, Ben Affleck may not be done as Batman. The Flash movie may not be his swan song. Wouldn't that be very, very exciting if Batfleck wasn't done yet? Isn't it strange, though, that Batfleck may be done, but Henry Cavill is done? What do you make about that? It's a very, very strange situation, if you ask me. The Flash is coming. Do you think it's going to be successful? Do you think it's going to be mid-box office? Do you think it's going to flop? The DCEU hasn't done too well. So what do you think is going to happen with the Flash movie? Are people going to like it, hate it, be indifferent towards it? And what about those Snyderverse fans? Will they continue to boycott? A very, very interesting situation for the Flash movie that comes out. Of course, every DCEU movie has to have a tad of controversy. This has plenty of controversy to it. Bat Super. Hello, Mick. Hello, Bat Super. Rewind the times. I'd love Ben back. I'm hoping for 700 plus million for the film. We will see. The projections are for a soft 70 to 100 million opening domestically. Rewind the times. We did start off with a long projection of what was it? 115 to 145 million. I just don't think anybody, not even the analysts, actually know how this film's going to open. So it's become a very unpredictable opening box office for the Flash movie. Obviously, if Ezra Miller had behaved themselves, this film would have opened up too much stronger. After all, it's a Flash movie. The Flash is a very popular character. And if you get the movie right, there's no reason why this movie can't make $1 billion. Under the right circumstances, this movie could have made a couple of billion, but we don't know. Not been great for comic book movies recently, but James Gunn's Guardians Volume 3 is doing very well. Thank you very much. That's what happens when people like a director, like how he does it, and it was always going to be successful. It doesn't mean the MCU's back. It's a parting gift from James Gunn. Mick, question. All these fan screenings that happen, are the money from that going into films totals? No. The fan screening, well, no, they won't know. No. The advanced screenings, as far as they know, won't go towards box office. I mean, I don't know, actually. Now that you've asked me, I'm not actually sure. Actually, rewind the times, that's an effing good question. Do the advanced fan screenings that people are paying go towards box office? I suppose if you look at it logically, they should do. But what you've got to remember is a lot of these advanced screenings are actually free. I don't think they pay for the advanced fan screenings. I'll have to check that out, but I'm not sure. So I don't think they actually pay for those advanced screenings. That's why they say, thank you, Warner Brothers, for inviting me. Probably means they don't pay to get in. Rewind the times. What are ways to showing the film then, huh, buddy? Well, I don't think they pay to get in Rewind the Times, thinking about it now. They're advanced screenings. They thank the studio when I see them over on Twitter. So those advanced screenings are to get word of mouth. They're not to make money, Rewind the Times. That's the point of it. It's not about the money. The money is like everything else. You release your movie, people come in. You know, you can't cheat the situation just because we want DC to be successful at the end of the day. You know, the films are being made. People have the choice to come in and watch them. And the real problem isn't DC fans. It's the general audience. The general audience haven't been supporting the DCEU for a very, very long time now. Maybe never. I mean, they all came out for Aquaman, which was weird. If that was actually a genuine box office. Jason Momoa recently said he was surprised with the $1 billion box office for Aquaman, especially coming after Justice League. But rewind the times. I understand now. I'm excited seeing it 2 times in 3 days. I'm going with big crowds also. That's very good. Very good. I hope you enjoy it. It's good to go with a lot of people. I mean, I normally go on my own because to me, the cinema is not really a social event. You can't talk. So I normally go on my own so I can just suck it all in. If I go with other people, they start talking to me and I don't like that. I want to focus on the movie. But super. I feel like The Flash is both over-marketed and under-marketed in some weird way. The fact that Ezra hasn't been promoting the movie because of the controversy has made the marketing so weird. Well, they've done a lot of marketing in terms of famous people saying they liked it. You know, the advanced screenings, you know, the trailers. But in terms of the director being interviewed, he has had interviews, but I really haven't seen the interviews and the actors talking that much. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of pre-recorded interviews from a very long time ago with the director, with Sasha, with Michael, but there's not, I don't even think Michael or Jason Momoa will be at the premiere. Ezra Miller will be at the premiere, but he will not be allowed to be interviewed. Rewind the times, Mick. What was said about Ben coming back as Batman? What did I miss? In an interview, Andy Muschietti says that Ben Affleck may not be done as Batman. That's a very curious situation. It's a weird thing to say, but they're all obviously trying to hype the movie up. Who knows what James Gunn's up to? Villager, hey Mick, what's up? Villager, long time no see. Welcome to Movies TV Mad Live with Mick. We're talking DC, or we're talking about anything in entertainment you want to talk about. I actually rewatched Lost, then I started rewatching it again because I'm writing an unofficial Lost sequel, taking my own story and using it as an unofficial sequel to one of my favorite shows of all time. So welcome, Villager. But yes, it's a complex issue with Ezra Miller. Look, it ain't the studio's fault. The stuff with Ezra isn't the studio's fault. They've tried to handle it as best they can. You can blame them for not having Cavill in the movie, although there is an awesome Superman moment in the Flash movie. That's all I'm going to say. I have mixed opinions about this movie, the motivations that went into making this movie, but there's a fucking awesome Superman moment in the Flash movie. It's worth seeing for this. That Superman we see should get his own fucking movie. Villager, they started marketing Blue Beetle, but no one cares. I'm Latino and not even my Latino relatives are interested. I didn't realize you were Latino. I love the Latino community, by the way. But look, it's not listen, it ain't really about being Latino. I mean, look, I'm an English Greek Cypriot. Where's the English Greek Cypriot superheroes? Superman weren't eating a doner kebab while he was flying in 78. I still love the shit out of that movie. It ain't about your roots or the roots of the people they're telling stories about. It's about the story, the character development. And I think what old Hollywood used to do was make good shit. And if you get good shit, that's all that matters. Now, I'm up for representation and inclusion. But when you do it, stop talking about it, make a good movie, develop a good character, and I'm in. Rewind the times. Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Ben himself said that this is the best he's done as Batman. I love his suit. It looks awesome. My opinion. Rewind the times. Blue Beetle, I think, will do Shazam money. 350 plus million. It looks good to me. Blue Beetle's another unpredictable one. I mean, the problem with Blue Beetle, in terms of the general audience, it's not Transformers. It's not a character that everybody knows. And I said it on my show, on my pre-recorded show last week. People keep on, throwing Iron Man in my face. Iron Man starred Robert Downey Jr., who was critically acclaimed in Chaplin, who was in Air America prior to that with Mel Gibson, who was in many movies. Xolo Maradona is popular in terms of Cobra Kai, but he ain't effing Robert Downey Jr. Villager, I think it will flop, sadly. It's interesting. I think it may have a solid box, but who knows? Who knows? Look, shall I tell you WB's point of view in terms of these movies they have to release because they were made? I think as long as they get their money back, they're not that fussed. In terms of The Flash, they do seem to be really pushing it. They do seem to really want to make a profit. I think out of all the movies, they think, let's get our money back on the others, but this one we can make a big profit out of. I don't know that they will. Rewind the times. I hope not, Villager. Blue Beetle is my son's favourite superhero. I love Blue Beetle. In fact, I think they did him justice in Smallville, as they always did with these DC characters. Abraham Herrera, got my tickets for The Flash. Awesome, Abraham. Good to have you on the live chat. Remember, you lot always ask me to go live. So if I don't get a good show tonight, I'm happy with even 5 views and the conversation is flowing. That's what I want when I come live. Because if I'm just sitting here and it's 0 on how many people are here, it's not worth it. You make the live show, not me. I make the pre-recorded ones and I try and entertain you and talk about shit, but this is your show. Ask your questions, make your comments. This is your chance for us to connect. Rewind the times. Mick, I've got to go. I'm sorry, I've got some errands. Love the channel, brother. Okay, mate. See you later. But The Flash is a complicated movie for many, many reasons. Now, I want to talk about this, by the way. A lot of critics are reviewing this film on the conduct of Ezra Miller. Now, I don't approve of Ezra's conduct, but you can't be judging the movie. You can't be voting the movie down because Ezra's in it or because Ezra did this or that. I'm not going to sit here and defend Ezra, but you've got to judge a film on its merits. Villager, I'm going to see The Flash on Thursday. Me too, Villager. And did you see Andy praise Ezra? It's funny how WB is ignoring the accusations. Yeah, look, I don't take anything, what Andy says to heart. Andy's being the good soldier. Andy's had to put up with a lot of shit from the moment he got into this clusterfuck. He's a studio director. He does as he's told. He's not going to come out and say, I hate Ezra Miller, he's a right CUNT, is he? He's got to be, he's got to be complimentary. Maybe he and Ezra got on really well during production. Even the comic book writer, he tried to pitch an idea for the Flash movie, came out months ago and says, listen, when I worked with him, the kid was brilliant. But nobody speaks to him anymore because he's gone into it. Not him, gone into their shell. So it's difficult. Charles Austin, hello, Charles. I don't think I recognize you. Welcome to Movies TV Mad. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm going to see The Flash because it's The Flash. It's a story about a young man trying to save his family. That's why I'm watching it, even though I'd rather they followed more closely to the comic. You never have to here on Movies TV Mad, Charles, you never have to justify going to see something. At the end of the day, you're a movie consumer, you're a member of the public, you have every right to go and see this film. And if you don't want to go and see this film, and if people want to boycott this film, that's also okay. Charles Austin, I'm there for Ezra's Flash, not for nostalgia. Yeah, look, it's a very, the nostalgia really, obviously Keaton, but I'm telling you, by the way, that Superman scene, there's a prolonged Superman scene, not Cavill, but it's fucking awesome. Honestly, if you just go for this, if you just see that and enjoy that, it was worth your ticket price alone. But yeah, you don't have to justify going to see a movie. You can go for whatever reason you want to go to. If you don't want to see the movie, if you want to boycott the DCEU, that's fine. If you want to, we live in a democracy. Abraham Villager, I'm excited to see Keaton. Abraham Herrera, All I see is a DC movie coming out. Actors' personal lives are their business. Well, listen, look, I don't know the deep facts of what Miller did. We know that he was charged, they were charged with one crime. We saw on a video that they throttled someone. I still don't understand how serious that was, but the young woman who was throttled came out and made a statement that it was done purposely. But there's so many things going on, and I don't really want to focus on that anyway. Abraham Herrera, getting a hot dog, nachos and soda, and I'm having a good time. Damn it. Good for you, my friend. Villager, Shannon's shade towards multiverse movies was really funny. Mike, look, Michael Shannon, I remember when I was in LA a few years ago, and a lot of people used to tell me about Shannon. He really is straight. He's a straight talker, Michael. What is it with us Michaels, right? But yeah, he's a straight talker. He loves Snyder. But I tell you what he loves the most, Villager, that Man of Steel had this commentary about a planet being destroyed because the people who lived on the planet abused it. They did the wrong thing. And he sees it like how we've messed up our planet and how our NASA are looking for another planet for humanity to live on. And then we're going to go and mess that planet up. So he was always consistent that he loved that. Listen, he's turned up for 5 minutes. He shot some shit. I don't even think he was actually there. I think he shot his stuff behind a green screen, and I think they've superimposed him on the movie from what I can see. But it was really funny. He basically said he didn't even really like what he did that much, but he was complimentary towards Ezra and the director, to be fair. Charles Austin, correct, Abraham. I don't care about what Ezra did, what Amber Heard did, or what anybody else did. They gave us performances which allowed me to separate the art from the artist. Charles Smith, Michael Shannon was straight gangster for what he said, and I love him for it. Yeah, listen, he's loyal to Snyder. He really enjoyed doing Man of Steel, and he played a bloody good villain. He may have played the best villain, but in The Flash, he's barely in The Flash, to be honest with you. If I'm gonna, without spoiling it, he's not in it as much as the trailers suggest. And he's already admitted he was only there. He's not really only in the film very briefly. John, hey Mick, good evening, John. Good to have you on the live show. If you like what you see, please smash the like button. I'm getting verified on Twitter. I am paying to be verified on Twitter. We're going to try and have a bit of a platform. We're going to go for it. Villager, speaking of Amber Heard, I recently rewatched the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I think Depp's performance was the best thing ever. It's sad that he won't return for the 6th movie. Well, listen, they're talking about making them, continuing it without Depp. Depp is Pirates. They'll flop. Disney are insane if they think they're going to make successful Pirates movies, unless they find someone like Depp, someone, you know, who's in their late 40s or 50s, who's quite popular. But the problem is, no one can do what Depp did with that character. It's virtually impossible, you know, to get someone to do what Depp did. And nobody wants to see, you know, an actor ripping off Depp. That's the problem. They'll put some broad on there, call it representation and inclusion. It'll be shit. It'll flop, just like The Little Mermaid has flopped. These people don't have a clue. And this, as I said on today's DC Universe Daily, when you get corporations making creative decisions instead of allowing creatives to make creative decisions, you have an industry on its knees. It isn't just WB and Disney on their knees. They're all on their knees. John, did you hear that Transformers beat Spider-Verse? Well, you've got to remember this, John. Spider-Verse had its first weekend the week previous. Transformers came out this week. Transformers is quite popular. So that's not a big deal. And Spider-Verse still did very well and had good holds in its second weekend. And in fact, it was neck and neck. So Spider-Verse did really well to finish up as close. Abraham Herrera, Disney got too big for their own good. They certainly did, but empires are destroyed from within. Villager, it's sad that Jeffrey Rush is too old not to reprise his role as Barbossa because he's one of the best characters of any franchise. Well, do you know what, Villager? How many films did they make? 4, 5? You can go and watch those films anytime. Do we really need another Pirates of the Caribbean? We've got them. The classic. We've got the cast there. I mean, it's a shame about Keira Knightley and her feminist bullshit, but she's there. I mean, she doesn't really do much in the films anyway. You could get any attractive female to play her role anyway, and she's a one-trick pony. But we've got the films there already. We don't need more. They need more pirates. We don't. That's the truth. Abraham Herrera, I hope The Flash does good to at least be able to say the Snyderverse went out with a bang. It really isn't the Snyderverse, Abraham. It really isn't the Snyderverse. It's not. How can it be? It's nothing to do with the Snyderverse. I know it's that universe, but really, Zack Snyder doesn't think the Flash movie is part of his universe. Zack made that clear years ago when he was promoting the Snyder Cut. He said, my universe is MOS, BVS, and the Snyder Cut. He don't see these other movies. You know, how can you close off the Snyderverse without Henry Cavill's Superman in it, Abraham? It really isn't the Snyderverse. I know it's semantics, but it isn't. John, do you like the Venom movies? I really do like the Venom movies. I don't think they're Shakespeare or anything. I think they're very entertaining movies. I think critics and people are very harsh on them. Yes, I do like the Venom movies. I'm looking forward to the third one because I think they've got the relationship between Eddie and Venom spot on, like in the comics. And I think that's the element they've got right. And I do like the Venom movies. Yes, I enjoy them. I think they're more entertaining than Phase 4 of the MCU and a lot of the MCU. Villager, what did you think of the Mario movie? I think it was okay and they played it very safe with it. Yes, Villager, they did play it very safe. Basically, they tried to... what the effort was not to upset the Mario and Nintendo fans. And I think it's very Force Awakens, basically. They stick to the basics. They try and not to upset anyone, although I think The Force Awakens did upset people in elements of, you know, Leia cuddling Rey instead of Chewie when Han gets killed, and certain elements like that. But I think that there was no controversy with Mario. It was solid. It worked. I mean, all that shit about Princess Peach not being a victim and bullshit like that is more of the Hollywood insanity. But apart from that, I did enjoy it. I thought the performances were good. I thought it was well written. It was funny. It worked. And at the end of the day, people were saying, oh, well, there's not much going on in that movie. Have you ever played a Mario game before? It's very, very basic. Mario games are very basic anyway. I think they did amazing to make a movie out of it. So I really did enjoy Mario. And I think, yes, they played it safe, but I think they did the right thing. Blue B to Animator. Good evening, Movies TV Mad. Good evening, Blue B to Animator. Abraham Herrera, the Mario movie was good. I wasn't expecting anything other than that. What we got from Nintendo movie. It's a win compared to all other video game-based movies. I do like Sonic, though. John, they have confirmed that they are doing a Zelda movie. Yes, I don't know if they've confirmed it, but it's rumored all over the internet. I have seen that much, so I've never played Zelda. My Nintendo knowledge is Mario, and that's that. I don't really know who Zelda is. I've heard of Zelda, of course. Wasn't there a Zelda in Terrahawks? Wasn't the villain in... Do you remember the villain in Terrahawks was Zelda? Was Zelda, wasn't it? Who remembers Terrahawks? Come on, I can't only be the only 50-year-old British geezer here, although there's only 6 people, so what are the odds? But yeah, I mean, so nobody really knows how much money The Flash is going to make. It's quite funny, really. Normally, we have a good idea, but they keep on changing it. And then there was the Rotten Tomatoes scores of around 70%, which is better than most DCEU movies recently. John, they have confirmed that they are doing a Zelda movie. I haven't heard that, John. I've heard a lot of reports, but I haven't heard that. I'll have to check that out. John, I remember that show. Yes, Terrahawks. Don't turn your TV off. How did it start? Forgot. So I used to turn my TV off. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, by the way, but I do remember there was a villain called Zelda. But Yes, and of course, it's Superman Day today. Very exciting, Superman Day. Will James Gunn do anything special for Superman Day? Will he give us any Superman legacy updates? James Gunn, knowing James Gunn, he's always got something up his sleeve, but he's been very, very quiet today. He was bragging about the box office for Guardians yesterday. Abraham Herrera, the US box office will be weak for sure, but international audiences don't entertain controversy all that much. I think what happens is that international audiences have got a better movie palette than the American audience. That's why the latest live action Disney movie is done better in America than it has done internationally. Because internationally, they're not interested in what the Americans are interested in. Villager, I liked the Little Mermaid. I think it's the best Disney live action, but that's a low bot. Personally, I don't think it's as good as Aladdin. I actually enjoyed seeing Will Smith and the rest of the cast in Aladdin. I was laughing at the CGI for the genie in Aladdin, but when I saw the movie, I really enjoyed that movie, and I think they did a genuine job with that movie. In terms of what's it called again, The Little Mermaid, I mean, it didn't really do much for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just there. When she's performing around the CGI, she doesn't really look like she's there. She's not performing like she's there. She's got a damn good voice. The kid's got a good damn voice. I'll give her that. But in terms of performances, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that. I thought everyone felt a bit out of place because it was overly CGI heavy because of the premise of the movie as well. But yeah, I didn't get much out of that film, and I don't think many people did either, because there hasn't been a lot of people going back to see that film, which I knew that was obvious. There wasn't going to be, rewatchability with The Little Mermaid, and that's modern day movies. Blue Beetle Animator, just an observation. Martian Manhunter is the only original Justice League without a movie. Yes, I suppose. I don't know what you're talking about. You're obviously talking about the comics, aren't you? Yes, he doesn't have a movie. I mean, look, these people are dumb. I mean, Martian Manhunter is a very interesting character. He's got a history on Mars. He lost his wife and his daughter. And there's an interesting story to tell with Martian Manhunter, but they don't have the ambition. Abraham Herrera, man, I remember when Disney movies was something to look forward to. So bye. I remember watching Toy Story for the first time. What is it? Lilo and Stitch, Lion King, Monsters. Yes, look, in the early days, and even when we were kids 20, 30 years ago, Disney was a beautiful place for children, but they've become extremists, propaganda merchants, and they're on their knees financially. They've effed themselves up like the rest of this industry has. And it will continue until they change their stance. John, when do you think we will get a second trailer for Blue Beetle? Well, apparently very, very soon. I think it may even be this week. I definitely think there'll be a trailer accompanying the Flash movie, but I think we will see the second trailer for Blue Beetle very soon. I don't expect to get much more different footage. I think it's going to be more of the same because I just don't feel there's much to the movie. I think it's the family. It's family. I think we're going to get Susan Sarandon as the villain. They've gender swapped that character, which I think is problematic to me. I think lots of people are disappointed about Ted Kord not being involved. That's a problem as well. But we'll see. And of course, the whole fascist thing didn't help their argument to make good money. Blue Beetle Animator, yes, from the comics. Just like Superman, Manhunter is the last surviving member of his race. Yes, and it's an interesting, maybe an even more interesting story than Superman's story. And I think there's so many places for that character to go. So it's amazing. But, WB have always mishandled DC from after Superman 78. They allowed those crazy Sorkinds to remove Richard Donner. Richard Donner and Tom Mankiewicz had plans for 4 or 5 Superman movies, a Supergirl movie, a Batman movie. They were going to create their own cinematic universe. He's the one who trained up Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige. So you know, WB have always mishandled WB. Even when they get it right, thereafter, they get it wrong. Villager, I haven't even watched the trailer, but the suit looks good from pictures I've seen. Look, there's not much there. I mean, it looks okay. It's not, look, to me, it's not the best piece of CGI I've ever seen. It's not the worst. It's all very mid to me. I watch it and I think, you know, it doesn't seem to be doing anything that anything else hasn't done before. Abraham Herrera, Harry Lennox would have made for a great protagonist in a solo film. Well, Harry's a very, very good actor, by the way. Zach would have done it. Zach, this is the problem. Zach had plans, but they got rid of Zach. And they wanted to have colourful, fun MCU movies. But they can't even make MCU movies without getting it wrong. That's the problem. But Harry Lennox is a really, really good actor. And he's been around for quite a while. And he's made so many different TV shows. And I think he's more a TV actor, isn't he? But a very good actor. And it was great to see him in the Snyder Cut as well. But we should get a Martian Manhunter movie. Maybe James Gunn will do that. I don't know. I don't think these people have the sense they were born with. Abraham Herrera, maybe a mini-series to explain his behind-the-scenes involvement back from MOS. That would be good. Never going to happen, though, because they're not going to link into MOS because Snyder isn't there anymore and Gunn's going his own way, whatever that way is. And I mean, considering the ending of the Flash movie, which I now know what it is, it doesn't seem like we see the timeline. It seems like they don't leave us in the new timeline. And there's another confusing issue. Is Blue Beetle in the new timeline? In the Hamada version, yes, but I don't know anymore. Same with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Blue Beetle animated. I have a feeling Green Arrow is getting a movie. Well, that would be good. Green Arrow deserves a movie. Villager, what do you think? What they'll do with the DCEU after the Flash and Blue Beetle? Well, they've still got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom as well, Villager. What they're going to do is there won't be a DCEU. We're going from the DCEU to DC Universe, which is in a brand spanking new timeline. So the DCEU is being left behind. You know, but the confusing element is, where are we with Blue Beetle and Aquaman and Lost Kingdom? New timeline? Old timeline? Nobody knows. And that's the confusing element. Not that those movies matter anyway. Charles Austin, Comcast is waiting in the wings. Zaslav is going to sell. Oh yeah, that man's a vagrant. That man's a vagrant at WB. I don't know what the idea was, but Stanky was desperate to get a merger because Stanky and AT&T had messed everything up. Keelar was a shit show. He was obsessed with streaming. He wanted to move away from, the theatrical system. So I think Stanky was smart enough to say, right, I need some finance here. We've got ourselves in trouble. I mean, Stanky put his hand in his pocket and gave Snyder $70 million. And there's no question, no matter how successful the Snyder Cut was on streaming, it didn't make them any money. I don't think they made that $70 million back from the Snyder Cut or beyond. And so Comcast, well, let's talk about Comcast very quickly. They own Universal. Universal is the biggest, most successful studio out there today. So either they buy WB or they buy DC. If they buy DC, I mean, look, personally, at this point, and I wasn't a fan of this idea before, but right now, if Comcast swallow up WB or buy DC, I'll be more than happy because these people are not fit for purpose. Abraham Herrera, well, Mick, since after the Flash, the multiverse is going to be always in the background. There is always the chance of Zack finishing his arc in whatever Earth his universe is relegated to. Well, I'll never say never, but these people don't really seem interested in that. But who knows? If someone else buys DC, the Comcast situation we've just been referring to, who knows? Villager, I rewatched the Hobbit movies this week, and it reminded me how superhero movies replaced high fantasy. I want high fantasy back. I'm sick of the cape stuff. I think my attitude towards that Villager is we can have a bit of everything. We can have capes, we can have high fantasy, we can have rom-coms. We've lost variety, Villager, in the entertainment industry. And they just went capes, 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 interconnected universes, because this is what Hollywood do. Someone does something that works, they all want to do it. They do it all the time. Lost was successful. Guess what? We got a bunch of shows doing flashbacks, having post-apocalyptic events like The Walking Dead. And none of these shows did it as good as Lost did. This is what Hollywood do. They rip off each other, but they never, they never learn their lesson. John, I wonder if Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 will have any post-credit scenes. I think both movies will have post-credit scenes, yes. Abraham Herrera, never lose hope. Remember, Blue Beetle animator, if Blue Beetle is successful, it will be part of the new DCU. Gunn keeps giving hints. Well, he's doing Booster Gold. I think they will want to connect that. Maybe it will be connected whether it's successful or not, because they must realize Blue Beetle isn't going to make a lot of money, because at this stage, I don't see anyone talking about it apart from Blue Beetle fans. So I don't see it suddenly making $1 billion. Look at the recent superhero movies. Guardians 3 is the only one that's come, apart from Doctor Strange, come close to $1 billion. That tells you something. The only reason people went to see Doctor Strange 2 was because they thought there was going to be mass cameos, and there wasn't, and people were disappointed. But Guardians 3, people have always liked the Guardians movies and liked James Gunn. Nothing to do with the MCU being back. People like those movies. Villager, not even George Lopez is bringing in interest, and he used to be a bigger star. The problem is, like my nephews and nieces, the kids out there, the youth out there, have never heard of George Lopez. That's the point. So I don't really understand. I understand why Xolo's there because of Cobra Kai. And Walt Hamada met him, and Walt Hamada made it clear to him, I want to get to know you because it's more important that we have a good person fronting up this character more than anything else. So I like Xolo. I think he's like a Latinx Tom Holland, if you ask me. So I don't have any issue with him. But the person, George Lopez, before this movie, I never even heard of him anyway. But yeah, who's George Lopez? I mean, if they're actually looking at just attracting Latinx viewers and an audience, well, that doesn't make sense because that's not going to bring in the money on its own. Villager, Marvel Shields tried to gaslight everyone and having high expectations of Doctor Strange 2, but for months their PR kept pushing that there would be a lot of cameos. But that's super. At this point, I feel like it's more likely that Zack might go another graphic novel adaptation like Watchmen 2009, then continuing the Snyderverse in live action. I don't know about that. Abraham Herrera, problem with Blue Beetle is they think they representing Hispanics with it, but really they are just representing American Hispanics. Exactly, there's a big difference. The ones that grew up in the US, the humor is cringe. Yes, I didn't like the trailer. The trailer didn't do much for me. And I mean, even the special effects, when people were saying that suit's amazing, I wasn't getting a hard on over it, I can tell you that. Villager, George Lucas had a very successful comedy show in the early 2000s, and he's also a comedian. He's only big in the US. My point is, Villager, young kids, which is the ones with the disposable income, the ones they want to get in, like, I suppose if you're bringing in George Lopez, it's to bring in a Latinx audience. But you need more than that to make money. I don't see the Latinx community coming in just for this movie. Charles Austin, Villager, note characters like Blue Beetle, the Flash, secondary characters in general, only succeed when they are carried by mainline characters like Batman and Superman. Well, not necessarily. Iron Man wasn't carried by anyone, was he? But he was played by Robert Downey Jr. Villager, well, he's not very big anymore. Yeah, I'd never heard of him, but I don't know everyone, of course. But yeah, listen, it's not about him being big. It's about the movie being great. Great characterizations, making a great movie. You make a great movie, it doesn't really matter who you have in it anymore because, the movie star's gone out the water anyway. Villager, the Latino community in the US doesn't seem to care about Blue Beetle. Or no, because at the end of the day, the Latinx community, like everyone else, they want to watch good shit. They don't really care. Nobody cares if they're on the screen. If you're putting an Anglo-Greek Cypriot on the screen, but it's a piece of shit, and he's some fat geezer eating doner kebabs, I'm not going to watch it, am I? The point is, it's about good shit. It's about good entertainment. Hollywood have got it wrong. All this, you've got to see yourself on the big screen. Well, not everyone can see themselves on the big screen. You can't represent everyone, can you? What are they going to do next? Like represent one-legged ponies? And, you know, how far do you go? Do you have a movie full of blind people, right? You know, what do? Do you have a movie, I don't know, a movie full of kangaroos so kangaroos can see themselves on the screen? How far do you go with this? They've lost their minds. They're mad. Donald Trump drove them mad. By the way, I don't like Donald Trump, but Donald Trump sent them boom, doolally. This is not a movie industry anymore. It's a bunch of activists and extremists seeing who can scream the fucking loudest. And now they're on their knees financially, and they've decided to go on strike and bring the industry on its knees. It's hilarious. And no, I don't think the Latinx community do care about Blue Beetle, but why should they? Why should they care, right? At the end of the day, just because they're putting Latinx people in there, it don't mean they've got the divine right to be successful. And my problem also is with this representation and inclusion is that their attitude of, look, we got one of them on the TV, on your movie. Oh, praise us, come and watch our movie, come and watch our TV show. You arrogant shit. You should be casting these different communities without fuss anyway, but in good shit. Black Panther 2 was shit. Black Panther 2 was a load of shit. But they want black people to come and watch it because it's about black characters. Well, I'm sorry, The Woman King was a rewriting of history. Look, Hollywood is fucked. Hollywood is so fucked. It's unbelievable how people don't realize how fucked Hollywood is. Blue Beetle Animator, they missed a great opportunity. Ted Cord and Jamie could have had a mentor-student relationship like in Spider-Verse. Listen, they're idiots. And I mean, Hamada was going, and I hate this word, but Hamada was going very, very woke. You can tell. Basically, he was barely going to make any movies for theaters. We were going, basically, Batgirl was going to become the new Batman. Keaton was going, basically, she was Batman Beyond. That was going to be Roy. That's what they were attempting to do. Villager, The Woman King was a great movie. It was also a rewriting of history. They sold that movie on a historical biopic. But most of what they said in that movie was a lie. It was a rewriting of history. That's the point. And they sold it on this premise, on that premise. That's the problem in that movie. I mean, it was all right. It was all right. It didn't give me a hard on, to be honest. So, I mean, I rarely watch new shit now because I know it's going to be shit. I just watch stuff I grew up with, stuff from the early noughties. I'm not interested in new movies anymore because they're shit. They're made by people who have got no ability, no imagination. Entertainment isn't about imagination anymore. They don't care about giving you an escape. That's why all these kids are suffering from mental illness, because there's no escape. Everything's got to be gritty and about realism and commentary this and the first character swinging a fucking yo-yo around. You know, it's ridiculous. Abraham Herrera, I grew up in Mexico and the way they think they're representable. The sad thing is the movie industry in my country just tries to copy Hollywood. Good movies are rare. John, apart from Christopher Reeve, was any other Superman actors in Smallville? Yes, Dean Cain was in there. Dean Cain was in an episode, I think it was in season 7, and he played a villain. And he was trying to bring back his dead wife. And he was killing all these people for their body parts. It was pretty good, actually. So Dean Cain and Christopher Reeve have been in it. It's a shame they couldn't get Brandon Routh He was, I don't know why they didn't try and get him at the time, especially after Superman Returns. But yeah, Dean Cain was there, yeah. Bat Super, love Dean Cain's Superman. Villager, that brings in an interesting conversation. How everyone is expected to be an activist 24/7, and we can't even escape with entertainment. Everything has to be a political thing. Yes, the world has gone mad. Just have to go on Twitter, don't you, to see it, how divided the world is. I don't believe in the political system. I think left and right, they're all mad, because you got the far right and the far left now. And moderate politics, sensible moderate politics has gone out the window. And people don't even know how to have political discourse anymore. Most people talking about politics are not even talking about politics, how to feed people, how to keep the world turning. It's about identity politics. It's about this. It's about the LGBTQ community, the trans community. That isn't even politics. That isn't even politics. It's the stuff that we need to discuss to keep the world turning, we don't discuss. But you're right, Villager, it's 24/7, and it's even in the movies now and our TV shows. That's why I don't watch any of this shit. It's not worth it, because I'm 50. Who knows how long I've got on this earth? How much I've got of this mortal coil left? I'm not going to sit there watching the shit of activists who shouldn't even be working in the entertainment industry. It's a shame. It's very, very sad, but luckily I've got a great collection of entertainment here. I can watch whatever I want. I don't need New Hollywood. New Hollywood are off their fucking nut. They're mad. They're absolutely insane, all of them. And it's just funny that they're on strike and the demands that they're making. Like this is the peak of entertainment or something, when this is one of the worst eras in entertainment history. This may be the worst era in entertainment history, and they're on strike. I don't care if you're on strike. I'm not going to back your strikes, because you don't deserve any more money. They keep on going on about how much money streaming's making. Streaming ain't making any money. Streaming isn't working. It isn't working, because these big studios were trying to have streaming like you release a movie. So when you release a movie, right, you make money from it immediately. But that's not how streaming works. Matthew Thomas, yes, Mick, you're an inspiration, mate. Matthew Thomas, love your vids. Thank you very much. But we're in a very low period in entertainment. I'd say, like, when they make a new movie, like a great example is this piece of shit Barbie movie they're making, where mad, crazy, insane Margot Robbie has decided to make a feminist Barbie movie. And I think it's insane when you look at the people who are excited for that movie, grown men. I haven't seen any women excited for the Barbie movie. I've seen a bunch of men, old men my age, excited about it. I think it's weird. I think it's strange. I have no excitement about or motivation in seeing a movie about freaking Barbie. What am I getting out of that movie? Villager, I don't see anything wrong with the Barbie movie. It's fun. Villager, lots of women are excited about Barbie, lol. Are they where? I see a bunch of old men very excited. I see these movie connoisseurs on Twitter excited about it, but I don't see many girls. First of all, Villager, Barbie is no longer a trend. Kids don't play with Barbies anymore. I don't get it. It's just crazy Robbie decided to grab a female toy to do her feminist shit. And even Amy Schumer, that idiot, reckons it's not woke enough, it's not feminist enough. Matthew Thomas, Barbie looks okay, won't make much money. No, pointless. What's the point in it? She's only put on a director with a great reputation to do the movie as well. I don't get it. It looks like it. Look, I won't watch it. You want to watch it? Fine. Villager, because Barbie is a huge cultural thing, even though the dolls aren't as popular. Yes, but who's going to go and watch it? Because families are not going to go and watch this. Children are not going to go and watch this. Who's actually going to go and see this movie? That I'm just wondering who is this movie for? Villager, Barbie will make more than Oppenheimer. Well, now it's R-rated. They've got an opportunity to make more, but it wouldn't surprise me if Oppenheimer actually beats Barbie. If Oppenheimer wasn't R-rated, Oppenheimer would have fucking killed Barbie. But don't forget the Joker made $1 billion as an R-rated movie. Oppenheimer is a big movie, and it will be really fucking funny if Oppenheimer does beat Barbie after all. Drake player, if Flash bombs WB is screwed. Only other good movie they have coming out this year is Dune Part 2. Well, listen, WB is screwed anyway, Drake player. All these studios are screwed. Abraham Herrera, Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer. Yeah, exciting movies. Yeah, I'd rather go and see those movies than Barbie. Thank you very much. I have no intention. Anyone who wants to do their thing, good. Not me. Villager, the movie is targeted for Gen Z, which is a more progressive generation. Villager, progressive people don't make movies money. Where were all the progressives to go and see the Disney live-action movie? Why isn't it not making $1 billion? Where's Gen Z? Why didn't Gen Z support the movie? Gen Z are very good at talking on social media, talking on Twitter. When it comes to supporting their ultra movies, they don't do it. Birds of Prey. Where was Gen Z when Birds of Prey was out? Barely made 300 million. This is the problem, Villager. Yes, people, Gen Z, there's no money in making content for Gen Z. Gen Z are on TikTok. Gen Z are online all day. But they don't make movies for Gen Z. They'll let you down. Drake player, did you see Transformers Rise of Beasts? I did, yes. I thought it was solid. Nothing special. It was okay. Abraham Herrera just asked Bud how they feel about woke culture. Well, they did it. They did it. They keep on doing it. It's a drink of fucking lager. Look what they've done. Drake play. We might get a Gen Z Superman, Mick. Who's going to see it? Who's going to watch it? If they make a Gen Z Superman, who's going to see it? You're talking about James Gunn's movie. Gen Z don't support movies. They just talk. As I say, they're on TikTok. Villager, lots of movies targeted Gen Z has made good money. One example of Joker and the Batman, which have progressive themes. They may have small progressive themes, but that's not the reason. And Villager, they weren't mainly targeted at Gen Z. The people who made the Joker and the Batman money was not Gen Z. It was the general audience and it was comic book nerds. I'm not having that at all. That was not even those movies weren't even targeted at Gen Z. Gen Z were too busy getting all offended about Joker. Drake player, Superman Legacy won't bomb. Gen Z and millennials will support it. Let me explain to you. Look, you people may enjoy where am I? Sorry, I think we're getting a few idiots on here now. Right, where was I? Superman Legacy will make money if it's a good movie. Now, you people can go on about Gen Z and millennials. I look at human beings, not ticks in boxes. If he makes a great Superman movie, it will make money. But this current generation, aiming it at the TikTok brigade and these people who get offended when they see someone do something in a movie or when they got angry about Joker, those people are not worth making movies for, because the Joker was not aimed at Gen Z, and nor was the Batman. The general audience and the comic book nerds made those movies money. So if they make a movie for those idiots, that Superman movie will bomb. And I don't expect James Gunn to make that type of movie. Abraham Herrera, Gen Z are soft as hell. If you take Gen Z back to the 80s, they wouldn't last one day. Exactly. It's a nonsense. It's a nonsense. They're not making film. Anyone who makes films for Gen Z will be out on the streets. That's why this industry is dead, because they've been trying to make movies for Gen Z. Gen Z are all talk. People talk, bullshit walks. Kal-El, 2 videos in one day. You're spoiling us, Mick. You're welcome. Although we do seem to be getting some undesirables on here. Villager, did you see that Batman 2 filming was postponed? Well, it's postponed because there's a strike, isn't there? Blue B2 Animator, James Gunn did a fantastic job with Adam Warlock. Flying scenes in Guardians 3 gives me hope for the future. Well, you would hope a director can do some, capable flying scenes with all the technology they've got these days. Charles Austin, Abraham Herrera, straight facts. Touchy-feely generation. I was born in the 70s and raised in the 80s. How I miss it. So, Kal-El, Charles Austin. Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Charles, at the end of the day? It's not about our generation versus theirs. These people have no logic to them. They're not interested in entertainment. They're interested in political discourse. They're not interested in Superman or the Joker or Batman. They're interested in saying that Batman should just give his money away and not be someone who fights crime. They're loopy. And they're not movie fans, by the way, either. Drake played, do you see any future DCU projects getting delayed because of writer's strike? Well, it depends how long it goes on for. So, of course, there could be some major delays if this strike goes on for. The last strike in 2008 went on for around just about 100 days. So this one's got a way to go yet. But there will be delays and there'll be cancellations because of this strike as well. Charles Austin, Kal-El, Sir Charles Austin, good point, Mick. Villager, maybe Gen Z is trying to be less racist and bigoted. What's wrong with that, lol? But that's the problem, Villager. That's all they care about. Gender and race and cultural politics. And they implant themselves in conversations about entertainment, but they don't care about entertainment. They want everything to be about identity politics and the normal boring shit. Just because you're me, it doesn't mean I'm a racist because I don't bore on about this, that, or the other at the end of the day, right? And everyone's got a bit of phobia inside them anyway. It's a natural thing. But when I was growing up, a racist was someone who would hurt someone physically because they were from another culture or call them a name. These days, everyone's racist. Everyone's called a racist when they're not being racist. And that is what Gen Z is all about. They're just a bunch of extremist, radical troublemakers who don't like entertainment anyway. And anyone who makes content for them is going to end up bankrupt. And that's why, Villager, this industry is in the trouble it's in. Because when I was growing up, we used to call them the loony left, pat them on the head, give them a biscuit and say they're nuts. Let's not listen to them. Now they've got their shackles around major industries and they're bankrupting them. You should never listen to people like this because they're not the full ticket. You shouldn't base life choices around political extremists. It's not a simple thing of them not being racist. It goes beyond that. Drake Play, you are describing the Gen Z under 20. That's super. A lot of Gen Z kids don't actually care about bigotry. They're only doing it when it benefits them. It's performative. But these Gen Z kids are still racist to white people. They're still sexist to men. They hate straight people. So they're not the best of people. They're extremists, right? And they should be ignored. Give them a biscuit, put them in the asylum, and leave them there so we can go back to normality. But so a lot of Gen Z kids, Alex Whitaker, Gen Z are disgusting, Mick. Drake Player, I identify as a zillennial anyway, lol. Did you just make that up? This is how I see myself. I'm Mick. I'm from the planet Earth. I like to smoke, have sex, drink alcohol, do videos, watch my TV, wind people up on Twitter. I don't go in any box. I don't go in under any category. I'm 50. I'm straight. I love to shag, and that's what it's all about. Kalel, Mick, what do you smoke? Silk cut. Silk cut yellow. Blue Beetle animator. I'm black and didn't like the Black Panther movies. Everybody got mad at me. Waz at 007. Hi Mick. Hi Waz. Villager Mick, I saw that BD Wong reply to you a while ago. Why? Oh, because we had an argument because he was boring on about representation and inclusion being more important than entertainment and saying it's the same thing as entertainment. And I said, no, BD, I love you. I loved you in the Law and Order stuff. You play a cool character. You chill me out. But there's the difference between inclusion and entertainment. You still have to be entertaining, and he wasn't having it. And in the end, I had to mute him. The guy was stalking me. He wouldn't leave me alone. Normally, it's the other way around, isn't it? But yeah, that's what it was all about. Abraham Herrera. Well, Edgar Wright, the director, sent me an F-bomb into my Twitter DMs. Yes, insane. Abraham Herrera, anyone who starts using a cell phone at 5 years old is going to be a soft human. Listen, I feel sorry for this world we live in now. Everyone's so angry. Nobody's chilled anymore. Everyone's fighting each other. It's a war of words 24/7. Villager, wait. So BD went into your DMs. No, not BD. Edgar Wright went into my DMs. Edgar Wright sent me an F-bomb to my DMs. Alex Whitaker, I've heard they sacked the Everton Football Club board today, making way for a transfer. I'm not even going to go there, Alex. Charles Austin, Abraham Herrera, DC superfan. I hate studios now, how they try and just tick boxes instead of making a good movie. Yes, DC superfan, great to have you on the channel, but it's gone. It's dead. Collect your favourite movies, your favourite TV box sets, and watch them. Do a me. I can't stop watching Lost. Love it. Waz 007. Jensen Ackles in talk to play Batman in Brave and the Bold. It's just a rumour, Waz. Abraham Herrera. Really? Well, I loved Baby Driver. So did I. I mean, look. He said something, and I was mocking him for pretending he had a good relationship with Disney when they parted company over Ant-Man. So he comes into my DMs and he goes, he goes, please kindly fuck off, he said. And he said, and he put X's, like kisses at the end as well. Mad. And then he blocked me, obviously. I wouldn't have blocked him because I'm not that petty. But these people are used to having their head stroked. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. I've mixed around these people. I know people like this. The egos are bigger than fucking Doomsday, honestly. Very true. It's because of the internet. Everyone is expected to stay woke and be an activist 24/7. As the leftist, it annoys me sometimes. I just want to chill and be entertained. Villager, you know me. You know what I'm into. Good movies. I'm only on Instagram to check out hot babes in bikinis. Don't care what people think of me. As I say, love to smoke, love to drink, love my nephews and nieces. Simple life. I enjoy the good things in life, and why fucking not? Cup of tea, beer, whatever. I'm not really that much of a complicated human being. I'm creative. I like to write, direct, act, and it's a beautiful life. So I don't hate black people. I don't hate minorities. I don't hate the LGBTQ community. But I don't have to keep on going on about it all day, right? Because I see people as individuals. I may love one gay person, but hate the other gay person. That don't make me homophobic. I may love one black person and dislike another black person, not because they're black. That doesn't make me a racist. This is the crazy world we live in. I live on logic. DC Superman, Superfan, love Lost, great TV, best flashbacks, John Locke. What a compelling character. Maybe one of the most compelling characters in television history. DC Superfan, I'm writing an unofficial sequel about Lost because I'm obsessed with it right now. Waz 007 in England, it rained. Well, nothing new there. Kal-El, gun using the authority is the same identity politics he said he wouldn't bring in. I don't. Yes, I think that there is a gay. I think there's a couple of gay characters in the authority, which is fine. And maybe Gunn's clever enough to do it in an entertaining way. That's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind seeing gay people, at the end of the day. As long as they're compelling characters and they're interesting and they don't bore on about how right on they are and how clever they are for doing it, then I don't mind. It's okay. We'll see if they pull it off. We'll see. But at the end of the day, they're not in a position to be able to take risks. DC ain't in that position. No studio is right now. It's up to them what they do. Waz 007, Knight Rider was a great show. I was obsessed with Knight Rider. Drake player, thoughts on Disney potentially selling Lucasfilm back to George? Yes. Ice bucket challenge if it happens. I'll sit here, I'll pour icy cold water, I'll sit in my boxers, and I'll fucking start drinking champagne. That would be the best thing ever. Why do you think George insisted on Kennedy being in charge in the first place? He knew she'd fuck it up. This is his revenge. This is George's revenge to every person who hated Jar Jar and the prequels, I'm telling you. DC Superfan, please, Mick, I'm interested in your directing career. DC really get you in charge. I don't know if you're making fun of me or not, but that would be cool. DC Superfan, make DC great again. Villager, James is simply including people of diverse backgrounds. That doesn't make him woke or that he's pushing identity politics. He treats them as a character, not tokens. And as long as he does that, that's fine with me. And I don't want him boring on about it either. Just do the job. Abraham Herrera saw a video yesterday, Mick, of an old lady outside the hospital who the police came to remove because the staff wanted her out of there. Police mocked her and humiliated her. She died in the police car. Jesus Christ, that's horrible. That really is, isn't it? Kal-El, Villager, I disagree respectfully. Abraham Herrera, that is all I need to see, how our society is doomed. Waz 007, George might be in The Flash, play Bruce Wayne. Waz, I can't talk about that, my friend. If you lot want me to confirm or deny that, I do know what happens at the end of the movie, but I'm not going to just say it. Waz 007, great news, Boris Johnson quit Villager, George Clooney, he's the worst Batman. This is where we are today, Villager. This is where we are today, without giving you any spoilers. This is where we are today. And by the way, I'm kind of spoiling it for you now, right? Clooney was Gunn's idea. Kal-El, Gunn defies characters in as do Marvel. Drake player, imagine George Clooney as James Gunn's He denied that would be the case, but who knows? DC Superfan, what footy team you support, Mick? Manchester United. Abraham Herrera, I read something about the Snyderverse being relegated to the Clooney universe. That's not what's interesting, because that's not you're partially right, but it's not really about the Snyderverse because basically Batfleck and Cavill are gone. They're not even there, as far as I know. Although it is interesting because Aquaman is in that end bit, so you've got a point there, but I don't think it's really the Snyderverse. I don't know. And Ezra is relegated there as well. Blatantly, right? I actually love James Gunn for doing this, right? Basically, Ezra has been relegated to George Clooney's DC universe. I mean, he must really not like Ezra Miller. Waz 007, George Clooney, my favourite Bruce Wayne. Okay. Kal-El, Mick, thoughts on City's treble? Listen, what can I say? I mean, at the end of the day, we've got a lot of discussions. What's the better treble? Listen, even if you're not a Manchester United fan, if you know your history, Manchester United's treble was the first in England. It was sensational. We had to beat the best Arsenal team with the best Arsenal manager. We beat one of the best Munich teams with one of the best Munich managers. We beat Liverpool. We beat Inter. We beat Juventus. Basically, our treble was better than theirs. Great achievement. Well done. But at the end of the day, it's not the same. I don't even see the excitement. I think the whole of football celebrated what United did back then, even the people who hated us. It's a different environment. It's not, I don't think it's as great an achievement as it was when we did it. DC Superfan, top 3 Batman films. Batman Begins, Batman Returns, and then what am I saying after that? I think I'd have to go BVS and call that a Batman film. What other Batman films? I don't know what I would put. Actually, I'm not sure about my third one. If we're calling BVS a Batman film, I'd go BVS. DC Superman thinks it's really tough. Waz Douglas, and I hope release uncut Batman forever. Me too. Drake Play, do you watch NFL? Unfortunately, I don't. DC Superfan, Kal-El City are cheats. DC Superfan, their achievements mean nothing. Waz 007, I hope Henry Cavill get cast James Bond. Kal-El, City as media darlings now. But you know what, Kal-El? It doesn't. I don't get angry about this. This is why I look at it. I saw my club dominate the 90s and early noughties, right? We had one of the greatest managers of all time. I've lived the life of seeing my club dominate, win the treble, win 2 European Cups. I'm happy. So good luck, City. And those City fans must be very happy right now, although I know a lot of City fans are not happy with Abu Dhabi owning their club. They're not happy with Pep being there, and they think it's taking the culture away and the legacy of the club away. So not everyone who supports City is actually happy with that. But City don't bother me because my club has achieved all these things anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And Manchester United will be back. Beware the wounded animal. Waz 007, my favourite Batman films are Batman 89 and Batman Begins. Batman Begins is my favourite. Batman Returns is a personal favourite as well. I think those 2 movies are my absolute favourite Batman movies. I do like the Batman, but I don't think it's the film that some people think it is, but I still think it's a good film. Drake Play, am I the only one who thinks Blue Beetle will do well? Looks like it. I'm not an analyst. I don't know. I don't think it's particularly looking good for it. Kal-El, I'm an Arsenal fan and that club made me sick. The way they treated a 22-year-old manager, his retirement party was a disgrace. That he's yet to have a stand named or statue. Reminds me of WBD. Villager, yes, lol. Oh, you're talking about Wenger. Yeah, Wenger is the greatest Arsenal manager ever. I would have loved to have seen him at Manchester United when they unceremoniously got rid of him. But you're right, they didn't treat Wenger very well at all. I mean, that was disgusting. But the fans turned against Wenger as well. A lot of the Arsenal fans weren't very respectful to him because he wasn't doing what he was doing before, because the club didn't have the funds. It wasn't even his fault. Waz 007, rumour that Bradley Cooper turned down played Batman in Brave and the Bold. I heard he turned down Lex Luthor. Who knows? Drake Play. My favourite Batman movies are the Dark Knight trilogy. Blue Beetle animated. The good thing is Blue Beetle was cheap to make. Yep. Kal-El, Wenger, The Last Patriot. Yep. DC superfan need a film of an old Batman played. Where's 007? I see Ted Kord in Blue Beetle. I mean, look, I don't know what they're going to do with Ted Kord. I mean, listen, Ted Kord should be there. Or they should have a flashback for Ted Kord at the very least. Who knows? But they've created this new female version of Kord, Victoria Kord. And we know why they're doing it. The usual reasons they do this shit. They gender swap, they race swap, then they complain about whitewashing. You know, the hypocrisy in this industry is beyond me. DC Superfan, who would you cast in an old Batman as Bruce? I'm trying to think, actually. An old Batman as Bruce right now. Well, it's a shame it's not 20 years ago. I would have said, or 30 years ago even, I would have said Clint Eastwood, who was up for Batman at one point. Clint would be a very interesting Bruce Wayne. I mean, look, Clint's got one style, but that would have been interesting. Alex Whitaker, all of the new Batman films are great. Charles Austin, they need to finish Cavill's arc. I don't care how. I want to see that Dark Side War. I want to see more Apocalypse, more Desaad, more Granny Goodness. I agree. Not going to happen, I don't think. Alex Whitaker, Batman, sorry. Kal-El, Clint Eastwood. Drake Player, we don't need old Batman with young Superman. Well, I don't think we're going to get an old Batman, but who knows? I mean, look, we're getting Damian Wayne. So he can't be that old because Damian Wayne's a certain age. So he can't be that old. So I think he may be around 30 years old. Who knows what he's planning? But with Andy Muschietti saying that Batfleck may not be done yet, it wouldn't surprise me if Gunn allows Affleck to make the Batman movie for DC Elseworlds. That wouldn't surprise me. Kal-El, snap Clint Eastwood as a Kingdom Come older Batman would have been a dream. I mean, Clint could pull it off now, but I think he's way too old, isn't he? But yeah, Clint Eastwood would have been great. There's actually a few older actors right now you could use. But I mean, I don't think that's the direction they're going to go in anyway. I think the best way to do an older Batman is have a younger Batman, let him grow into the role for 5 to 10 years, then he can be an older Batman. That's the natural way of doing it, because once you put a random actor in as an older Batman, you ain't got the history. So it's hard to imagine that he's done the shit that he's done. I think that's part of the problems they had with Affleck. He's got all this history, but we don't know about it. And I think that's a problem. So we miss out on all the good stuff, like Robin getting murdered. Drake Player, imagine what the Rock's DC Universe plans were. I wouldn't think they were all that. Where's 007? Pierce Brosnan, good for old Batman. Yeah, very good idea. Kal-El, what are the chances we see Gunn's Superman dance? I don't think we will. Where's 007? Old John Hamm for Batman. Yeah, do you remember everyone wanted John Hamm for Superman at one point? That was a weird fan casting. I never understood that obsession. Blue B2 Animator. Also, Riddler Easter eggs in BVS. Yes. The problem is, as I say, they decided to have an older Batman. We didn't see him do the stuff. Would have been nice, wouldn't it? To know Robin, to see Robin die rather than tell, rather than show. Bat Super Drake Player, a WWE version of DC. Well, that's how WB sold BVS, wasn't it? As a WWF brawl. It didn't really work out, did it? Asthmatic selling, licensing the Snyderverse is the only way. Charles Austin, I'm not sure about Gunn's Superman. He's going for nostalgia again, just like Brandon Routh's suit. We all know how that turned out. Well, look, different strokes for different folks. We don't really know what he's doing, but it's going to be a more source material, accurate Superman for sure. Drake Player, Bat Super, didn't Rock plan a Kingdom Come movie? No. The Rock was just hinting about a Black Adam versus Superman movie. He didn't have any major plans. The man was a bullshitter. The only reason he brought Cavill back was to make his movie successful. He didn't give a shit about Superman. Waz007, do you think we see Nightwing and Tim Drake, Robin, and Jason Todd for Brave and the Bold? Well, we're seeing Damian Wayne, Robin. I don't know about the rest. Kal-El, MOS is the gold standard now. DC Superman, Rock was clueless. Yes, The Rock is a very overrated person. Abraham Herrera, did you see the recent Rebel Moon exclusive, Mick? I did. I did laugh how similar the terms and things are to Star Wars, like the Emporium, aka the Empire. And then you've got this young dude who's friends with a creature. But I am looking forward to it. But I'm surprised how similar it is to Star Wars. DC Sidvan, glad he's gone. Bat Super, The Rock talks the talk a little more than he walks the walk. Exactly, Bat. Exactly. I saw it. He's a bullshitter. Bullshitter. The hierarchy of power is about to change. The man does it on every fucking project he works on. He talks it up. He's got too much of that. Too much of that. And he's getting old now as well. I mean, he's got to be approaching 60, surely. I mean, I've never been a big fan of his anyway. I think he's overrated. I thought, look, I didn't think Black Adam was terrible. Always okay. Drake player, he's approaching 50. Is he? So he's younger than me. The mind boggles. I look younger than him, and I don't nip and tuck myself, and I don't go to the gym. Kal-El, The Rock is 50. I'm staggered. Bat Super, I think he's 51, 52. Blue Beach Animator, Black Adam would have worked better as a JSA movie. Well, without Black Adam. But even their Justice Society, there was only like a couple of members. You know, it weren't a proper Justice Society anyway. I mean, we saw a better Justice Society in Smallville. Again, Smallville did it better than the DCEU ever did. Absolute Justice was a better JSA movie than anything they did in Black Adam. And, and I did like Brosnan as Dr. Fate, but I think that Dr. Fate in Smallville, the actor who played Dr. Fate in Smallville, killed it. Killed it. Smallville did it better with a lower budget. That's the funny thing about it. We had a comic accurate Aquaman who could actually be James Gunn's Aquaman as well, because he's ripping out right now in the industry, so he could get the gig. But Smallville did it better. Smallville mostly did everything better that they did with all the DC characters. Black Beach Animator. In the comics, Shazam is a JSA member, so it's weird how he wasn't in Black Adam. Yeah, because The Rock didn't want him there. It was weird. I mean, Levi said a lot of shit during the promotion of Fury of the Gods, but that's what he said, and he's right. Kal-El, The Rock brought Cavill back. At least we saw the Man of Steel one last time for 7 seconds. Kal-El, he only brought him back. I know a lot of Snyder fans think that The Rock was doing it for them and for Cavill. It's not the point. Cavill was only in those 7 seconds to try and get people to watch a movie he knew wasn't good enough to make any money. Bat Super, I can't believe that Jamie Foxx is 55. Well, apparently he's been ill, hasn't he? Villager Low, I just know that Levi and The Rock have beef behind the scenes. Should I tell you something? They've all got beef behind the scenes. None of these people get on. Don't believe your DVD extras. They all hate each other because it's all attention seeking. This is the performing, this is the entertainment world. Hello, it's me. Oh no, I'm in your way now. It's all about me. That's what they're fucking like. It's a very difficult environment, and not anyone can be part of that environment. And it is attention seeking. It's ego. It's big heads, right? You see them on the internet, and it's a very difficult environment to be in if you don't understand it. So none of them really like each other. That's the truth. None of them are real friends. I like it when they call each other friends. And I mean, some people in the industry, I like it when they talk to me and they go, not show business friends, real friends. Tells you everything you need to know, right? But Levi and The Rock didn't like each other. But then The Rock shouldn't have had a Black Adam movie in the first place. But that was WB's fault for allowing him to do whatever he wanted. He was lying about Black Adam and Superman movie. It was all bullshit to try and make his shitty Black Adam movie make money. Charles Austin, The Rock is 1 year older than me. I turned 50 in July. Well, I'm already 50. I thought he was going to be 55 or so. I thought he was ancient. I must admit, I'm surprised because even though he's well built, he's starting to look a bit old. But that's all the injections these fuckers put. You know, you can see the veins coming out of his face. Villager, DC fans are so dumb. I said that Levi was obviously shading The Rock, but then they started saying that was blowing things out of proportion. Like, no, it's obvious Levi was not happy with The Rock. Well, The Rock, Levi, and the director of Shazam! Fury of the Gods were all talking a lot of stuff. They were frustrated that the movie was a flop, and they were just trying to find a place to blame. But The Rock was problematic. But also Fury of the Gods wasn't a good movie. They betrayed what the first movie because basically Savannah and Mr. Mind should have been the villains of the sequel. But at the end of the day, they fucked up. They took all the charm out of that movie. Darla was a great character in the first film. She's just chomping on fucking Skittles in the sequel. Kal-El, I disagree. You disagree about what? I don't know what you disagree about. Well, if you're talking about the Rock stuff, Kal-El, that he was trying to help the Snyderverse, and not only do I disagree with you, I'll say you're wrong, because that's not what he was trying to do. He was just trying to make his film money. He lied about everything. Cavill knew he wasn't coming back as well. They all knew. It was all a setup. That's why Cavill was doing interviews. I'm back, I can't believe it. It was all an agreement to try and make a bad film make money. It was probably Zaslav's plan, like this whole Flash thing. Tom Cruise, Stephen King. It smells the same, right? Villager, Mark Strong should have come back. And what did they do? Reduce him to a shitty post-credit scene. Mark Strong's brilliant. Mark Strong's reason the first Shazam's a great movie. I like the bit when he chucks the brother out the fucking window. The droll way he does it. Mark Strong is brilliant. Mark Strong was the only good thing about Green Lantern. He actually played a fucking brilliant version of that character in Green Lantern. And they didn't use it. Abraham Herrera lost a lot of respect for The Rock after that. Yes, I mean, I didn't have much for him anyway. Kal-El, Mark Strong is an amazing actor. He is. And he was, what's his name in Green Lantern? The ultimate villain. But he's brilliant in that film. That is comic book accurate. And even though Green Lantern wasn't great, I would have gone for a sequel just because of Mark Strong. In fact, you could have just had a movie about Mark Strong's character and just made the CG better. Blue Beetle animator, Sinestro, yeah. I do like the Green Lantern animated series they did after the Green Lantern movie. In fact, the animated series was better than the actual movie. Sinestro's, Mark Strong. There'll never be a better. In fact, Mark Strong was going to come back as Sinestro in the Green Lantern TV series WB were doing before Gunn got involved. But now Gunn's doing a different Green Lantern series, so that won't be the case. But Mark Strong was coming back. I mean, personally, I don't know why they ever cast Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. I never thought he was the right person anyway. I mean, he takes the piss out of the film, but he weren't much better. He weren't great in that movie. Blue Beetle animator, Mark Strong would make a great Luthor, I agree. Waz 007, Mark Strong would great choice for Lex, agree. Blue Beetle animator, you should watch Green Lantern First Flight animated movie. I've seen it, I like it. Kal-El, thoughts on the new DC animation Justice League War World? I haven't seen that yet, Kal-El. I do want to see it, but I haven't got round to it. I'll let you know when I might do a little review once I eventually see it. Have you seen it, Kal-El? Kal-El, I don't rate Ryan Reynolds at all. No, I think he's overrated. I think he was good in the first Deadpool. I didn't really like him that much in the sequel. And yes, I don't think Ryan Reynolds, I think he's one of the most overrated. I don't even understand the man's popularity. I mean, he seems like a decent enough bloke, don't get me wrong. He's one of the few Hollywood people I would say I like. I don't dislike Ryan. But, yeah, he's overrated for me. I wouldn't have cast him as I wouldn't have cast him as Green Lantern. Kello, I saw the trailer. I will watch before the end of the week. Okay. I'll check it out as well. Where's 007? Director want Bradley Cooper for Hal Jordan in Green Lantern, but WB want Ryan. I don't think that's correct, Waz. I don't think that's. I think if you've heard that, that's just a rumor. Are you talking about the original movie? Are you talking about the original movie? Well, that director of Green Lantern, he's the guy who directed like a couple of really good Bond movies, but he was totally wrong for a special effects extravaganza. And that man has got such a temper on him as well. Carlo, do you think Superman and Lois will get another season? Well, James Gunn, like months ago, promised us that that show would get another couple of seasons. So I really don't know what's going on now. And people are not going to be happy. They're not hearing anything right now. Because if they are planning on cancelling it, it's obvious they're not going to tell people yet, or people won't be coming in to watch the finale. It's a bit of a shame. It's not looking good. It won't be on the CW, that's for sure. The CW is owned by different people now. They're not renewing WBDC stuff. But there's a chance Superman and Lois could be renewed on Max. We will see. Or maybe they'll sell it to Netflix. Blue Beetle animated. Nathan Fillion should have played Hal Jordan. Waz 007. Yes, original Green Lantern. Yeah. Well, I mean, Bradley Cooper at the time, that was kind of early. Wasn't that even before? When was that? Oh, that was after he was in Alias. He was good in Alias. So he just made it. Yeah. He was, that would have been good. I mean, I don't know why they went for Ryan Reynolds. It was weird. Basically, they just went for a good-looking guy who looked good in a tight costume. It was ridiculous. And I mean, he looked too good in that costume. It didn't even work. It was like we were watching a porn movie or something. It was like he was just going to take his clothes off and start shagging people. It didn't work. I mean, those costumes were a joke. Waz 007, Bradley Cooper was good in the A-Team. He was. I liked him in that, yeah. Kal-El Taiki Waititi is in that film too. Yes, I know, yeah. I don't even know how it works, how this industry works. Abraham Herrera, Ryan Reynolds played himself on Deadpool and Green Lantern, but for Deadpool it works, and for Green Lantern it didn't. Yeah, look, he isn't, he isn't an actor really. He plays the same thing every time. So he's not really an actor. Blue Beetle animated. Why did they even make Green Lantern suit CGI? I don't know. Ridiculous. Because CGI was new back then, and to these people it was a toy, and they used it on everything. But you're right. Why do that? Where's 007? I wish the A-Team too. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. I think all the actors are just far too old now. I mean, Bradley Cooper. I mean, he's not going to do it now. I bet you any money Bradley Cooper plays Lex Luthor in the Joker sequel, right? And they set up Lex Luthor in the Joker sequel. Shall I tell you why? Because Bradley Cooper produced both Joker movies. So all these rumors about Bradley being Lex in Gunn's universe, I bet you any money that he'll play Lex Luthor in the Joker movie. Abraham Herrera's Zod suit was CGI, but nobody noticed because it was done right. Yeah, Snyder is different, different gravy, isn't it? You're right. Those suits look brilliant. Kal-El, 100% Abraham. It's true. But Snyder is another situation, But as I said, the director they used for Green Lantern, he's good for Bond movies and other movies, but he was totally wrong for a special effects extravaganza like that. But I will say, the stuff in OR at the beginning of the Green Lantern movie was really, really good. The narration and all of that. And it looked like a great movie in its opening. And then it just went wrong after that. I think it goes wrong from the moment we see Ryan Reynolds in the film, if you ask me. Because the opening and the narration and in space and on OR, I thought that was brilliant. Miscast, not well directed, and that's the problem. The wrong people in charge. Too many cooks spoilt the broth. You had Berlanti involved, you had Guggenheim involved, you had Jeff Johns involved, too many people. And this has been WB's problem all along when they're working on DC. They don't allow the creatives to do the job. And in the end, this is what's going to happen, you see. These like Elseworld movies will succeed, and these like interconnected movies will keep on failing. Bat Super, Sam Raimi for Green Lantern. Sam Raimi for anything. Abraham Herrera, I love how even Netflix told Zach to make Rebel Moon 2 at 2 hours, and he said, you know what, I'd rather give you 2 movies. So now we are getting Rebel Moon at 1 and 2. I mean, it's crazy how they said make Rebel Moon 2 hours, and he went nah, and they just listened to him. That's mad, because that's going to cost them a lot of money. Kal-El, WB didn't even give Richard Donner a chance. Well, it wasn't really them who was in charge. They distributed the Superman movies back then, but it was actually the Hungarian producers, the Sulcon, who basically had the rights to Superman, and they're the ones who fired Dick Donner after Superman the movie. It was ridiculous. He had big plans. Very, very stupid. Kal-El, Peter Jackson for Green Lantern. He would have made a really good Superman movie. But yes, I mean, if they could get, I think he's probably going to be back with the Lord of the Rings now, isn't he? But yes, I'd love Peter Jackson to be involved with DC. It would be a great honor. The man's a genius. Waz 007. Who have I met in Hollywood? Oh, I've met a few people. I mean, not Tom Cruise or Mel Gibson or people like that. But I've met a few people. If it wasn't Gunn, no, I haven't met James Gunn. Waz 007. Have seen the trailers, The Expendable 4? I haven't, no. It's been a good old evening, hasn't it, in the end? It's been such a good chat, I didn't notice the time go. It's been a good video then. Abraham Herrera, what's that foolish Harry Potter remake on HBO? Can you believe that? It's ridiculous. What a stupid idea to reboot one of the most successful movie franchises and take it away from the theatre and put it on television. What the dumbest shit I've ever heard, and that proves that Zaslav don't have a clue. They keep on saying they support cinema. You could make $2 billion if you continued those original Harry Potter movies with an adult Harry Potter and all those actors coming back. Nuts, mate. Nuts. These people are not all there. Kal-El, do you think Schofield will seek refuge in Israel with singer Lolo? Nothing would surprise me. Abraham Herrera, are there really no creators on WB giving new ideas? Or maybe they are being ignored? I just think that it's not just them, it's all these studios. They're clueless, they're lazy. All they care about is rewriting history with their relaunches and reboots. And it's all about their political extremism. And they're lazy. They're lazy. But they don't, you can reboot great iconic ideas and names and IPs, but do it properly. But they're not interested in doing it properly. There's no new ideas in Hollywood. It's not like the 70s when they went to film schools and they were bringing people leaving film schools and they were, George Lucas, Coppola. It's not that anymore. The industry's dead. Why's 007? Mickey Rourke is a wasted actor. Abraham Herrera seems like only Tom Cruise is doing his job nowadays. I mean, he's a bit highly strung, but yeah, people still like him and he makes great films. Simple as that. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up in a moment. I hope you enjoyed the live video. Kal-El this year has some good films coming. Oppenheimer, looking forward to that. Flower Moon, definitely looking forward to that. And Rebel Moon, yeah. Looking forward to them. Villager, Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. I know. Common knowledge, isn't it? Makes great movies, though. If we're willing to look past Ezra Miller, I think we can look past Tom Cruise being a Scientologist, can't we? Abraham, do you like the Mission Impossible franchise, Kal-El? Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not obsessed with it or anything, but I think it's solid, yeah. Abraham Herrera, yeah, a Scientologist who makes great movies. Waz 007, I can't wait for new Mission Impossible film. Kal-El, Cruise is a legend in cinemas. Last of dying breed, definitely. But super Hollywood ain't what it used to be. Yes, that's putting it mildly, isn't it? They're dead. They're finished. They're finished. It's over. Waz 007, Tom Cruise looked great his age. Yeah, he's 60. He looks okay. I mean, don't forget, these people have got the makeup on. They're nipped and tucked. So we would all look great at their age. But he looks all right, yeah. I mean, I can tell he's old. Believe you me, when he's at home first thing in the morning, I bet you he fucking looks 60. They're using filters, as I say, they're nipped and tucked, they wear makeup. Abraham Herrera, I saw Fast K, more of the same. Yeah, and I didn't expect anything else. Villager and all that Botox lol. Yeah, they all do it. They all do it. And some of them don't even look good with it. Most of them don't look good with it. Kal-El, this has been an excellent live, Mick. Always appreciated. Thank you very much. Abraham Herrera, same dialogue and everything. Oh, Fast X, yeah. Look, it's easy money, isn't it? That's why they make them. Hollywood are famous for their sequels. One thing that hasn't changed in Hollywood is sequels. They'll make a sequel about anything. Blue Bee to Animator. Can't wait to discuss the Flash spoilers later this week. Me neither. Waz 007. Mick, what favourite Tom Cruise films? Born on the 4th of July. Vanilla Sky I like a lot. Jerry Maguire. A Few Good Men. He's made some really good films. Kal-El, do you think Harry Kane would be a good acquisition for Man United? Well, it'd be like Van Persie. He's a good goal scorer. I don't rate him as a world class. He's not a Van Nistelrooy or anything. And plus, he's 30 now. So, and I think he'd be injury prone for us. I'd rather go for someone younger, personally. Abraham Herrera. Oh, yeah, Mick. Don't forget to do a live after The Flash comes out. I will do. I will do one. Blue Bee to Animate. American Samurai was dope. Yes. Very good movie. Kal-El. Van Nistelrooy was a genius. Brilliant striker. Klinsmann, Van Nistelrooy, the greats. Harry Kane ain't in that league, even though people think that he is. Van Nistelrooy was probably the best forward we've ever had. Certainly the best forward we had since Dwight York. Waz Dublin said, my favourite Tom Cruise films are Mission Impossible films, Top Gun Maverick and Day of Thunder. Yeah, the Days of Thunder never really had an impression on me. To me, it was just Top Gun in a racing car. But the films when he actually has to act in, Born on the 4th of July, A Few Good Men, Vanilla Sky, Jerry Maguire, for me, that's Cruise at his best. Right, I'm going to read out one more comment, then I'm going to sign off for tonight because the voice is going, the eyes are drooping. We'll do this again. Abraham Herrera, well, take care, everyone. See you here after the flash to discuss it. Mick, you look tired, mate. You get a good night's sleep. See you all. See you later, everyone. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Smash the like button. If you love me, subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. See you next video, Mick. I will do Bat Super. Remember, tomorrow, as per usual, our usual pre-recorded DC Universe Daily. I will be back then. Blue Beetle Animator. See you later, everyone. Thank you for the support. If you haven't smashed the like button, please do, if you're that way inclined. If you don't, no hard feelings. I shall see you later on. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, everyone. Really enjoyed it. It was great. See you tomorrow. Nearly clicked the wrong thing there. Oops.